is a frozen tundra outside, wind chills into the negatives, but thankfully it's basketball season and we're inside and we're turning up the heat as the Dalton Bulldogs and Hillsdale Falcons meet for the second time in 3 days as the Falcons look for the season sweep. Throw an extra log on the fire, grab another blanket, and cozy up as the Bulldogs and Falcons square off next, here live and free on the OH Report.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Oh, not much. What's that sound?
Just working on some long overdue improvements here.
Whoa.
Fit for a Hall of Famer. Hi, I'm Joe Baylog. Tune into The Joe Show every Wednesday night here on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Home and kitchen supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Time now for our Bendon Publishing pregame show, coming to you live and free here on the OH Report from Hillsdale High School as the Falcons and Bulldogs set to square off for the second meeting in the last 3 days. Hillsdale winning on Saturday over in Dalton, 50-45. Andy Jardy alongside Brian Skowronski tonight. Brian, this you don't see this too often, if ever, at the high school level, where you get like the series almost. I'm looking forward to this tonight.
Yeah, it almost feels like baseball, where you're playing kind of like that back-to-back, seeing the same opponent 2 games in a row, so that can come with some challenges. It can also obviously be a benefit to each of these programs. A lot of familiarity because plenty of these kids were on the roster last year, competing here again in 2024-25, so should be a really fun game. Dalton's kind of owned this series until the last 2 years, so it's been cool to see the Falcons in this resurgence and really kind of enjoying the best stretch of basketball that they've had in a long time.
Yeah, Dalton has won 11 of the last 13 meetings. Hillsdale winning on Saturday over in Bulldog Country, using a 15-2 run that helped fuel them to that 50-45 victory. Let's take a look a little bit closer at the Dalton Bulldogs coming into this one 8-5 on the year, 5-3 in conference. These two teams battling it out kind of for second place in the WCAL right now, but this was a Bulldog team until that loss Saturday that was rolling.
They were humming along. They were smacking around their opponents by double figures during that 6-game win streak, and then Hillsdale just starting to find their way, as I mentioned here, over these last couple of years, able to beat the Bulldogs at their place. big step for them after beating them at home last year. So a season sweep, I don't know that Hillsdale's ever been able to accomplish that. Obviously, the Bulldogs, they're going to be looking for some revenge and look for them to come out very inspired here on the road.
Yeah, and if they're going to get it done on the road, they will lean heavily on one of their key seniors out of 7 seniors on this squad, Brady Hignight, who on the year, Brian, averaging almost 18 points a game, 7 rebounds per game. He is a stud.
I love this kid and what he's brought to the table. He's been, I believe, a 3-year starter. He had a big intricate role with them as a sophomore in this team, coming off of back-to-back district championships and regional appearances. He's been the go-to guy after being that younger kind of, if you will, fire spark dude with just bringing the energy. Now you got to shade a little bit of your defense toward him. You got a game plan for number 5. He's been up to the challenge, one of the leading scorers in the WCAL.
Yeah, and he will probably send you an invite to his block party because he has 18 of them on the year. Look for him to be swatting shots all night long. Taking a look now at the Hillsdale Falcons, who started the year 5-0, scuffled a little bit there a couple weeks ago, facing some stiffer competition, but have since regrouped nicely and are looking to win the season, sweep the season against Dalton for the first time in a really long time.
I saw them in the game against Chippewa where the Chippies had their best shooting performance, they said, in a long while, maybe a couple of seasons. So the Falcons, they were a little bit flat in that game. Can they compete with the upper echelon teams? They take on Smithville. They're not able to get it done. Certainly looks like there is a beat down Dalton. They beat Columbia here over the last couple of weeks, so this is a team that I feel like is playing with a lot of confidence and, really well coached. They've got the coach's kid on the team, the freshman Lowen, and he seems to have brought a lot of energy to the squad and certainly kind of an extension, too, of Dad out there on the floor.
Yeah, he is really fun to watch, and for only being a freshman, he is truly something special. When he starts hitting from beyond the arc, look out. It just adds a whole nother element to this Hillsdale offense. And, of course, you can't talk about Hillsdale without talking about Brady Krichbaum and just the incredible season he's had. He's averaging a double-double a game. And then the win at Dalton on Saturday, 13 points, 12 rebounds, 4 blocks.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. He's a double-double machine. This kid, he is as athletic as they come. He's got the great size, really soft hands as well. Played left tackle for the football team, so he's a physical, dominant presence, leading them all the way to a state championship appearance. So just got to love a lot of things about this kid. His leadership, it's super evident when you watch in the pregame as well. So you can rely on Brady, but what's super special about tonight, it's the battle of the Bradys. We've got that Brady bunch head-to-head. We'll see which family reigns supreme here tonight.
We sure will, and we'll have the starting lineups, our keys to the game, and tip-off coming up for you on the other side of the break here, live and free on the OH Report.
Home and kitchen supply. We're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Tonight's broadcast brought to you folks live and free. Thanks to all of our generous sponsors. You'll learn about all of them throughout the course of the action when we bring back your game. Dalton versus Hillsdale coming up shortly.
Bendon Publishing pregame show just about finishing up here for you as we get set for tip-off between Hillsdale and Dalton tonight in a Wayne County Athletic League showdown. Andy Jardy alongside Brian Skowronski. Should be a really good one, Brian. What are we looking at here tonight for Dalton to come away with avenging their home loss and stealing one here on the road?
Well, for the Bulldogs, Andy, in my opinion, you just got to be able to keep some of these big bodies of the Falcons off of the offensive glass. Second chance points have carried them at times throughout this season, so if you can keep them to a one and done, frustrate them a little bit, not allow any of those chippies and those second chance points because they've got some amazing athletes, certainly can float in there and grab some offensive rebounds. Cut that out, and they could win tonight.
Well, one thing Hillsdale loves to do is run the court, push that tempo, and if you do not get back on defense, they will get easy buckets. So Dalton has got to make sure that they're back defensively. And on the other side of things for Hillsdale, if they want to make this a season sweep over Dalton, Brian, what are you looking for?
Well, I just feel like the ball movement, when I've seen them and they're at their best, the ball is changing hands. It's super active. They're not going one-on-one and solo on the mission. If they get the ball working around the perimeter, tends to lead to a lot better shot.
For me, like I said, push the pace. Hillsdale used that 15-2 run on Saturday to come away with the win in Dalton. If they can get on another one of those runs, they might be able to put away the Bulldogs again here tonight. This has been our Bendon Publishing pregame show. As we get set for tip-off here, starters for Dalton: Coy Wenger, Brady Hignight, Matthew Heatwool, Gabe Clark, and Carter Hignight. 4 seniors and a sophomore. And on the Hillsdale side of things, usual suspects: Troy Bennett, Hayden McFadden, Lowen Ferguson, Cale Lewis, and Brady Krichbaum. We are underway here in Hillsdale as the Falcons control the tip. Dalton JV won 34-23. And first possession here, loose ball, and it's going to go over to the Bulldogs.
Obviously not a great start here for Hillsdale, but it didn't seem like it was a careless pass. Nothing that you would scratch your head about as a coach. Sometimes you're just going to lose your footing. That's life. That's basketball. It happens.
Turnovers were an interesting thing that Hillsdale ran into when I was here Friday for the Rittman game, as that 3 is no good. And Hayden McFadden able to pull down the board, but give Rittman credit in that game. Hillsdale kind of, I feel like, thought they could just walk in and run away with that game, and it took them about a quarter and a half before they were able to really start pulling away. There's a nice feed underneath. Troy Bennett with a nice layup, and the Falcons are on the board first.
Just love the unselfishness of this team. The backdoor cut, pretty pass on the money, and then the ability to go up and under with the sweet kiss off the glass.
There are just so many different ways that Hillsdale can score. And Troy Bennett, he had a 14-point performance against Rittman Friday. Another look from the outside, and again, unable to connect. Cale Lewis pulling down the board.
Yeah, he's a really strong rebounder on the inside for them. Pulls in about 5 per contest, but he's just always an active player around the glass. Even if he doesn't get it, he's able to get some tips and create possessions extra for this team. As we get a jump ball, we'll be headed the other way.
Yeah, Krichbaum unable to really get a handle on that. Nice job by that Bulldog defense there, forcing that jump ball, and possession arrow is going to send it over their way. As they look to get onto the scoreboard. First couple possessions have been empty trips for them. They've had good looks from the outside, just haven't connected yet.
This 1-3-1 zone, sometimes it takes a little while to kind of figure out the riddle and the keys to being able to break it, but when you go inside against Brady Krichbaum, who is just a block master, you're going to have to zip beautiful passes like that, and Coy Wenger does get him on the board.
Heck of a pass from Heatwool to find Wenger. But yeah, Krichbaum, it is not easy going in up against him. Here's a 3 from the outside that does not fall. Heatwool pulling down the board.
Great job by Wenger of just keeping Cale Lewis off the glass that time as well.
They try to go inside again to Heatwool, and ball is knocked around, still loose. And I think we're going to get a jump ball. Possession arrow will give it to Hillsdale.
Yeah, you don't see in boys games very often, multiple jump balls in the first few minutes of the game. That's what we've got here, but always appreciate guys willing to give up the body, dive on the floor, trying to create the possession or keep it alive, rather. And that's what we saw from each side here in this WCAL clash.
Krichbaum outside to Lewis. Lewis from the corner gets the three to fall.
Another nice pass to the outside, and the extra making it happen. Cal Lewis, not normally known as a three-point threat, able to bury that one.
8 points, 3 rebounds, 5 steals in that win Saturday. Trying to answer on the other end. Unable to connect, but Dalton keeps the possession alive.
Right place, right time for Gabe Clark, but a second block shot. Krichbaum turns him away.
Boy, Brady Krichbaum making his presence known in the paint. Second block already here tonight.
He's so smart, too, understanding that with those go-go gadget limbs, he doesn't even have to jump oftentimes, and you saw it right there. Just go straight up, boom, knocks it out like he's got a volleyball spike in his blood.
He's like the chief in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He just stands there and
pow,
swats it down. And this is an errant pass that goes off the hands of Ferguson, and Falcons will turn it over. Second turnover of the game for them.
Appreciate the idea. Hignight right there, and he's got about 5-6 inches on low end anyway, so if he makes that catch, it would be almost an impossible finish.
And we're going to have our first foul of the game. Troy Bennett picking up the first foul. Talked about this series, how Dalton has dominated it, winning 11 of the last 13, but the last 4 meetings decided by single digits. The Falcons have the pendulum has swung towards them as they try to make it a season sweep here. Almost coming away with the steal, but the Bulldogs maintain possession. But this stingy defense, they are all over, and it's going to force a turnover.
Wow. Yeah, just the athleticism that they have on the outside. It's really tough to try to find any little crease.
Ferguson can't connect on the 3. Lewis there for the board, though, and a timeout called as bodies hit the floor. Cale Lewis involved with it, but he gets it, calls the timeout, and keeps the possession for the Falcons. 3:51 to go here, first quarter, 5-2. Bit of a sloppy start here by both these teams, and it's so interesting. Like we talked about, they just played each other Saturday, so they're pretty familiar with one another.
Like you said, this is such a rarity in basketball specifically, where you would have the same opponent 2 times in a row, unless it's one of your rivals. You play them in the final game, and then you somehow would catch them in a sectional. So this is a pretty unique experience, I think, for each of these teams and these coaching staffs. And so far, you can tell out here, it's a little bit of a filling out process, but the Falcons, with a little bit of confidence coming off of that victory on the road, and defensively, they've been really impressive. Their recovery, their speed, their agility, and right now it's frustrating the Bulldogs.
Yeah, you wonder if the frigid temperatures outside have cooled off some of the shooting in here, because neither team able to connect on too many attempts here. Cale Lewis did hit the 1-3. Normally, by now, you see Lowen Ferguson has made a couple threes. As Lewis turns around, gets the shot to fall. He's up to 5.
That was pretty, and what I like, too, is that when he turned off of that second series, he decided, you know what, I'm not exactly level with my feet. He took his time, pulled up for the jumper, and ripped that thing through.
Hignight pump fakes, goes inside, now he kicks it back out. 3 from the outside is no good by Thad Weaver. Ball knocked around, and it is going to go over to the Falcons. Hignight tried to save it, couldn't do it.
And that's a tough extra pass to try to sneak in there, too. There's 4 Falcons in the vicinity, and it leans into a turnover. And Hillsdale now, 5-point lead, trending towards 3 minutes to go here in this opening quarter, a chance to add to it.
Yeah, you just see that they're kind of very methodically building this lead, and that's going to hurt the cause as that goes right off the hands of Hayden McFadden. 3rd turnover from Hillsdale.
Can be a problem for them at times so far this season, but they've had 2 unforced errors out of those 3 so far, so those are the ones that you want to clean up. Don't take your eye off the ball, make the catch, and then look to go to work.
Wenger with the ball, and look how far out the Bulldogs offense is even trying to get set, and They're going to say, I think Kale came down out of bounds holding on to the ball. It's going to stay with the Bulldogs. I think that's what the call was there. Interesting call, though.
Yeah, it was kind of joint possession. I thought always tie goes to the offense. And
Yeah.
in that case, for Dalton, they're like, no. Let the defense get the tie.
Boy, Hignight had a look underneath, couldn't get it to fall, and then unable to keep possession, got his own miss, but then turns it over.
Just the activity of Hillsdale being in and around the play and the basketball on the defensive side. They've taken about 4 points off the board probably for the Bulldogs that they're accustomed to be able to put in, and I think that was a great case right there with Hignight, point-blank range, and just all the Falcons just flowing to the basketball made it tough.
Knox Lewis checks in for Hillsdale. 2.5 to go here in this opening quarter. Holland Young drives in, quickly draws a ton of coverage, kicks it out. Lewis gets the board, ball knocked around, and they try to get it back inside, but it's another turnover by Hillsdale. Good defense from the Bulldogs. And Krichbaum knocks it away. Wenger able to track it down, though.
Brady's been such a big presence, a monster in the middle so far here in these first 6 minutes. And
Hignight drives in, and he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
that's the best way to try to take Brady and his size away from him. If you just come slashing in there at 100 miles per hour, he's just so calm and cool. You see right there, waits until the last moment to get that arm up, but then the contact created by the offensive weapon here, Hignight, comes up short, though, with his first free throw.
69% free throw shooter on the season. Leading scorer on the team, just under 18 points per game. Had a huge game against Chippewa where he had 29. And he gets the second one to fall. 7-3, under 2 to go. Krichbaum picked up that foul. It was his first. Neither team really able to get into any kind of flow yet here in this one. There's a nice feed inside off the glass. Can't get it. Krichbaum, though, there with the board and the putback, his first points of the night.
I think that's where he's most effective. Of those 15 points he averages, I would guess probably a third come off of situations just like that, just fast bounding up off the floor and having the size, the ability to put it back in.
I didn't have the official numbers from the game at Dalton, but going into that game, they had out-rebounded every opponent this season, and you can see why, as Hignight gets his first field goal of the game. Back to a 4-point deficit. Ferguson gets up in the air. Nifty move from the freshman.
Yeah, nice hang time right there. And you can always tell a true basketball player when they understand their own gravity and they kick up those feet like that, Andy, all the way to their backside, knowing that they need another half second in the air. It's exactly what the freshman did.
Boy, Krichbaum, nice job to not pick up foul number 2. And this one, as the Falcons tried to get going offensively, knocked out of bounds. They will keep possession of it.
I want to show that last bucket, though, by Lowen, and exactly what I'm talking about. See, he hits there, and he just knows just to kick his feet out to the side, and it gives him a little bit of extra, maybe even puts you another half inch up in the air.
He is so I was shocked when I was here for the first game of the year against Loudonville, and I was like, this kid's a freshman? He drained 6 threes in that game. Here's a nice look inside, but Troy Bennett unable to convert, but it is going to stay with the Falcons.
Take a second look here on our Raider Dairy Bar replay. And from our vantage point, looks like that's clearly off of Brady Krichbaum. All the Falcons are walking the other way, but those are the breaks sometimes.
We're going to get a foul here underneath. This will be the first one on the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I think it's going to go on Heat Wool, and this might even be a little bit of a frustration foul too, because you could tell he was a little frustrated that they did not get the possession that they probably rightfully deserve there, and just comes bumping into the backside of Brady.
Heatwall is called for the foul. Holland Young looking for help, finds him underneath, and it's an easy bucket for Knox Lewis.
Yeah, it's pretty stuff right there. Knox just floating in behind the defense, and the pass coming right at the perfect moment.
Just like that, the Falcons have built an 8-point lead. It's their largest lead of the night. Big 3 here, unable to come down with it, though. Lewis has the board, and the Falcons looking to push the tempo. 3 seconds to go. Ferguson at the buzzer, in and out, doesn't fall. But the Falcons, a great start to this game. They lead it 13-5 here after one. We'll have the second quarter here for you live and free on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Welcome back into Hillsdale High School, where the Falcons lead 13-5 after one. Andy Jardy alongside Brian Skowronski. Jeremy Peoples on camera. Thanks for joining us here on this chilly night. Schools closing all over the area today, tomorrow. Some even closed for tomorrow on Monday. And here's a steal the other way. High flying and couldn't get it to go, but there for the putback, Lowen Ferguson. Looked like he was caught in between of wanting to throw that down or laying it up.
Can be a gift and a curse to be that type of athlete where you're a good enough dunker to throw it down, but you're also not super consistent with it. I think that was kind of the case right there. We'll take another look.
Yeah, just kind of like a, uh-oh. I guess I should just try and lay this up, but there's the intelligence there of Ferguson to continue following the play, just being in the right place at the right time.
It's usually pretty noticeable when a coach's kid arrives at the high school game. It looks different. It feels different. They're understanding. They're talking about it at the dinner table. They've been around it when they've been a kid typically. And just when you're always thinking and digesting X's and O's, it kind of showcases. And that's why this freshman, he plays well beyond his years, even though he's a bit undersized. I'm not sure exactly what he stands at, maybe 5'8", but his understanding of the game is such that it doesn't really affect him.
Yeah, he is listed at 5'4".
Okay.
So, but that just goes to show, like, as long as you're active and you are, following shots, miss shots like that, you're going to score. Like, he doesn't just do it from beyond the arc. That's the impressive thing. So where do the Bulldogs go here now offensively? This would be a good start for him, and it's a nice three by Carter Hignight, the sophomore.
Yeah, that's what you got to get out of him. He's about 30% from long range. Clean look, and the sophomore in transition, stepping into the shot. Great offense.
And looks like we're going to have a foul underneath. This is going to be on Alex Hess. That's his second. He's picked up 2 here in the second quarter.
And he's trying to plead his case a little too handsy, though, for the referees. And they said you can body him up, and you can get away with a lot of contact that way as long as those 5 fingers stay off of the body, and that was not the case there.
Boy, Krichbaum was trying to fight his way through the contact there. Did a good job to not turn it over as him and Heatwall are having a friendly conversation with one another. Good matchup there. And there goes Ferguson again. This time he tried to hang himself up in the air, but Hignight had other plans for him and rejected it. And that's going to be number 2 on Krichbaum.
Yeah, we'll see if Coach Ferguson elects to go to his bench and kind of save Brady. But let's look at the block shot one more time. Again, he kicks the legs out to the side, tried to buy himself a half-second extra, but Brady Hignight just too good of an athlete, and the outstretched arm. I mean, this kid, you can tell that the limber limbs, he's probably got a wingspan of a kid about 5 inches taller than himself.
So here come the Bulldogs. They've kind of weathered the storm there. That first quarter wasn't pretty, but they've made it a 2-possession game and a chance to get back into this one. There's a nice feed underneath, but unable to convert was Coy Wenger. Knox Lewis there to alter the shot.
Came off of Heatwall's hand strange somehow. I don't know exactly what affected that. He probably puts that in 75-80% of the time.
And that was Cale Lewis who altered the shot. Knox getting the board. Boy, the Bulldog defense has turned up its intensity, driving in, unable to convert. But Falcons maintain possession. And I think that's going to be out of bounds. It will go over to the Bulldogs. So, again, they're just kind of hanging around. If they could find anything here on the offensive end, might make things a little more interesting.
Just not shooting it well in the lane, and you certainly want to credit Hillsdale for that. And in this zone, they're able to collapse quite a bit down on the blocks.
Yeah, they haven't been able. They've missed at least 3 at the rim. Brady gets the defender in the air, and there's another one. He'll go to the line to shoot 2, but it's just these shots right at the rim are not falling.
Like the patience here. Get the defender up in the air. Hignight 1 for 2 the last time he went to the free throw line.
Can't convert the first one. He missed the first one the first time he went to the line. He'll try and make number 2 here to push the Bulldogs into double digits. 5:16 to go here, and he missed them both. So big missed opportunity there.
Yeah, you got to put the pennies in the piggy bank when they're right there for the take, and so leaving a few out on the table.
Troy Bennett floats one up off the glass. Shot no good, but pulling down his 5th board, Knox Lewis. And Ferguson gets the floater to go.
You know, what life off the bench you get with guys like Knox Lewis, and I think Colin Young's one of those type of cats too, that just when they come in, the energy, it feels different. They provide a spark, and you see that was a tough rebound to make, and it converts to second chance points.
Turnover here goes back over to Hillsdale. They're up 8. And there's a foul underneath. It'll be the first foul on Corbin Lehman.
So a replay of that last bucket. Nice strong catch in traffic, too, for the freshman. And sometimes being 5'4" is an advantage, being able to dip through those little alleys.
3 from the outside, just a little short there from Cale Lewis. 4.5 to go here until halftime. Bulldogs still searching to put together an offensive rhythm. And another shot is short, but there for the putback and the board, Brady Hignight.
Gorgeous setup on the drive down the lane, and kind of a push shot, almost looked like a shot put from the short corner, but Brady comes through, helps the team out, and now they got a steal and something going here, trailing by 6 halfway through the second.
Yeah, a little bit of an awkward possession there out of the Falcons. Another turnover, though. They're 6th here in the first half. And the chance for the Bulldogs to make this a 1-possession game. And the 3 from the outside is going to do exactly that. It's down to a 1-possession game. Coy Wenger, his first triple, he's got 5.
And at 28%, that's good enough when you get a clean look to be able to have the green light all the time. Great up fake, but they say shuffle in the shoes was Cale. Let's show this to you guys one more time, and you be the judge.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take a look at this again. Yeah.
I think that left foot is solid.
Yeah.
And that's what Cale's trying to show with his emotion right there was, I know the right foot slid, but don't I get just one pivot foot?
Krichbaum has checked back into this one. He does have 2 fouls, as this is now down to a 3-point game. And if you're doubting, you got to go right at him. But they're going to try from the outside, and the tie, and they will. Brady Hignight has tied it at 17.
Yeah, he's come alive. 8 points now, about halfway to his season average. Another still here. Wenger spinning in the lane, and a chance to try to take the lead for the first time.
Hignight's shot is a little short. He tried to get that third foul on Krichbaum. 17 all, just under 3 minutes to go here in what has turned into a game that we expected to be close, as it's going to be a foul here on the Bulldogs.
It's going to be their fourth, so the last one to give here with 2:48 to go before we get to the break.
Hillsdale led this thing 13-5 after the first quarter. But it's been a Bulldog dominant second quarter to tie it up at 17. Falcons looking for the lead. Can't get the three to fall. Brady pulls down the board, and Dalton will look for its first lead of the night. Three from the outside, a little too strong. Ferguson gets the board.
Coy was a little off balance that time on the catch and release. I think he rushed it just a bit. He was pretty pumped up after making the last one.
I think he was a little too excited on that three. Trying to get it inside. McFadden turns around, spins, and gets the shot to go.
That's just all Hayden McFadden. I didn't like the pass, and they've had about 3 turnovers trying to really thread the needle. That time, Hayden, superior athlete, able to track it down and just go one-on-one.
First points of the night for Hayden McFadden. And on the outside, the three is good from Carter Hignight, and the Bulldogs have the lead.
It's a big shot right there from the sophomore. But he's proven when he's open, he can knock him down.
Off the glass, no good, but gets his own miss, puts it back up, and we're back and forth now.
You could tell Bennett there, he had the idea in his mind, even if I put this up and I don't make it, I've got 32 on the other side. I'm here one-on-one in an offensive rebound situation. It pays off, but another clean look, different result.
Boy, a good look, though, from Carter. Would have been his third triple. But the tempo and the scoring has certainly heated up, and Ferguson from the outside can't get it.
He liked the line, too, right off of his hand. I could tell he thought that was going in, as the Bulldogs in the full court pressure kind of burst the pipes right here.
Yeah, that is a costly turnover right there. Those are the ones. Those will kill you every time.
And it was just a little bit of token pressure too. Hayden McFadden hanging around a little bit, just trying to make it tough to bring the ball up the floor. Unforced error for the Bulldogs.
21-20, Hillsdale leads. And this series that's been so evenly matched the last couple of years. Last 4 determined by single digits. Hillsdale winning Saturday 50-45, and this one knocked away. But they're flying to the ball. Both these teams are just active defensively.
It was really Hillsdale in the first half that they were eliminating any opportunity, as there's an offensive foul here. Sold very well, too, by Gabe Clark going down to the floor. But for the Bulldogs, I feel like they kind of fed off of that effort and energy in the first quarter, and they've been the ones kind of bringing it to the Falcons here in the second.
Well, it certainly helps when you can hit shots from the outside, too. They've got 4 triples here in this second quarter. Makes all the difference when you can connect from beyond the arc. Can completely shift the momentum in a game. They're looking again for that shot from the outside. And a good timeout here taken by Coach Cody Huth. Keeps the possession for the Bulldogs. Just under 30 seconds to go here. In a very interesting situation last year with Dalton, how they had a midseason coaching change. Cody comes in, and all they do is make a run to the Division IV regional semifinals, where they ended up losing to Warren JFK. But they started last year 1-4 and go all the way to the regional semis. Isn't too shabby.
Yeah, and I believe the year before that they went to the regional championship under their previous head coach, Greenfelder. So it's been a really great stretch here for Bulldog basketball in Hillsdale, who traditionally they've really had a tough run for about 20 years, but they're catching up and they're starting to compete with some of the big boys here in the league. And a season sweep over Dalton. Like I said, let me know in the comment section if you're a fan of either of these teams or the WCAL, and I don't believe Hillsdale's ever accomplished this, so this would be quite a feat for them.
Yeah, you go back and look at, as I was looking at some of the previous matchups and just the history of Hillsdale, it was bleak a couple years ago. I mean, they were winless in the WCAL, but the tide has certainly shifted here for the Falcons as they force a turnover and look to hold for the last shot here, up 1. But they'll find an easy bucket inside with Krichbaum, who misses the first one. Gets his own miss, though.
Yeah, pumping up the stats right there, offensive board.
Bulldogs to tie it at the half. It's no good, and the putback. Boy, he wanted a foul. Hignight did. He's not going to get the call, though. And that is going to do it for an entertaining first half. Hillsdale leads it 23-20. Brian and I will break it all down for you here live and free on the OH Report.
Coach B.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Oh, not much. What's that sound?
Just working on some long overdue improvements here.
Whoa.
Fit for a Hall of Famer. Hi, I'm Joe Baylog. Tune into the Joe Show every Wednesday night here on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Home and kitchen supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Tonight's WCAL Showdown brought to you folks live and free thanks to our good friends at Simonson Construction Services, Inc. From concept to completion, they can help you make a plan, refine your vision, and build a path for success. Bendon Publishing, based in Ashland, can develop creative and engaging products that spark imagination and fun. Currently, Bendon stands as the top producer of coloring and activity books in the entire world, and it's right here in Falcon Country. Village Point Market, currently celebrating their 12 days of deals. Go to their Facebook page to see today's deal. Raiders Dairy Bar, family-owned and delicious treats. They'll see you April 1st, so the doors opening pretty soon. Home and Kitchen Supply, your one-stop shop for kitchen and baths, windows and doors since 1970. And Fickes Furniture, a fourth-generation company celebrating over 100 years in the furniture business, selling Bassett, Flex Steel, Smith Brothers of Bern, Mohawk Flooring, and Dutch Craft Bedding with free delivery and removal of old furniture. Fickes Furniture, quality furniture at an affordable price. We'll take one more brief commercial timeout. Andy and I will be back. We'll have your Bendon Publishing halftime report. Stay right there.
Home and kitchen supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Welcome into our Bendon Publishing halftime show where the Falcons lead it at the intermission 23-20. Andy Jardy alongside Brian Skowronski. And Brian, was there anything better as a kid than when you would go out and do like the three-point shoot contest here at halftime?
No, and especially because they let you move up to the free throw line and you still get that double money for your dollars. So I was a pretty decent player as a kid. They offered this, I do remember, at the high school games, and this is what I came for.
Yeah.
Obviously the popcorn as well, and the snacks and everything that you can get at the concessions. But then it's your time to shine. People are paying attention. You want to get up there. There's a little bit of pressure, of course.
Oh, yeah.
But if you can knock it down, cash money, turning mom's dollar into two.
And then, yeah, it was straight to the concessions where you felt like a king just buying whatever you could afford.
Of course.
Which was usually the popcorn and then the fun dip. I was a big fun dip guy myself. You take
Reese cups for me. Yeah, the popcorn, but I had to have a little bit of chocolate to go along with it, the sweet and the salty.
Yeah. Should we go to the concessions right now? I feel like we should just send this to
Yeah, let's just bring up the stats and they can just tell the story for you guys.
It's been a back and forth game here that we saw in the first half. Hillsdale led 13-5 after the first quarter, and then Dalton outscored them 15-10 second quarter, and we got ourselves a 3-point game.
Yeah, I talked about it kind of towards the end of the second quarter that it really felt like the defensive activity for Hillsdale to me was the biggest storyline in the first quarter, and then that kind of switched, and that was more of the biggest storyline in my opinion for the Bulldogs, is that they flipped it up. They went to the second gear in that second quarter defensively. They forced some turnovers. They were able to capitalize, and then the shot-making ability, they went on that nice run there midway through the second quarter. Were able to actually overtake the Falcons for the lead at one point, but just the shooting for Dalton right now, they've missed quite a few chippies. They've had a couple of clean looks. I would argue better looks than Hillsdale has. They just haven't been able to cash them in quite like they need to put them up in front right now.
Yeah, I think the biggest difference was they just started making shots. Dalton did. They hit 4 threes in that second quarter and really got themselves back into the game when they just could not buy a bucket in that first quarter. Should be a very entertaining second half, and we'll have it all for you coming up on the other side of the break here, live and free on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business. Displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Second half just about to get underway, and boy, Hillsdale, as you said, Brian, they just got out of the locker room with like 30 seconds to go there on the clock, so be very interested to see how they come out to start. This is always the most important part, I feel like, of a close game like this, is those first like 3 to 4 minutes right out of halftime.
You never want to read too much into what it means, the fact that they were in there for about 9 total minutes. I typically like a team that's out of the locker rooms quicker. It feels like, okay, we're already executing the game plan. Keep it up. Good job, guys. But by the same token, just because Coach Ferguson has a couple of extra things maybe that he wanted to strategize about, there's really no impact or anything one way or the other for the long trip into the locker rooms. But we'll see what the Falcons come out with here early on in this third quarter and see if it looks a little bit different, because the Bulldogs did have the run of play there in the second quarter, and obviously there's some changes to be made.
Lowen Ferguson will get it started for the Falcons. He was the leading scorer for Hillsdale with 6 points, none of them coming from beyond the arc, and that's just an errant pass there, and probably not what Coach Ferguson had drawn up at halftime.
You got to hate that play. He's double-teamed. He's bookended right there. Hayden McFadden trying to make a play, get it to Krichbaum, who a little bit slow on the offensive side. Maybe it was a point of emphasis to try to get him flowing as we got a kick ball here. But at the same time, can't throw away those possessions, not in a rivalry game, and especially when you've got it, you just drew it up. It's like out of a timeout. You've probably thought about what you wanted to do there, and the good news is there's still a long way to go.
Brady Hignight will inbound. He was the leading scorer for Dalton in that first half. He had 8 points. Carter had 6 as he connected on 2 triples in that second quarter. Brady open underneath, going at Krichbaum. Krichbaum with his third block, making his 4th block. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Brady Krichbaum.
Yeah, he's had a fantastic defensive presence so far here tonight. McFadden, 2 turnovers in the first 2 possessions, though, for the Falcons, kind of evening things up. Wheeling and Dillon, tough shot, strong rebound.
Coy Wenger gets his rebound and his 7th point on the night. Boy, Krichbaum, though, even when he's not blocking shots, I mean, you see the shot altering that he provides down there. He's already got 4 blocks tonight. He averages 2 a game, so he's well over that. As Falcons just trying to put together an offensive possession here. They've had 2 turnovers on 2 possessions to start. Kale pump fakes, gets his defenders up in the air, but he can't get the shot to fall. Carter Hignight pulling down the board, and Dalton a chance to take the lead if they can score here. Brady mid-range pulls up, gets it.
Solid execution. Find your best player in a little bit of space. The pull-up, short corner. Brady Hignight into double figures.
Quick little 4-0 run here. Lowen Ferguson, though, blows by his defenders. He's up to 8 points. Gives the Falcons the lead again.
Just a super crafty offensive player. He's got a lot of different ways that he can attack you and shows the ability. As we got a foul and an offensive foul here against the Falcons on the moving screen.
I believe they gave it to number 10. That's Gabe Clark.
Actually, Hayden McFadden and Coach Ferguson, after the couple turnovers and now the moving screen, that's 3 turnovers right there for Hayden McFadden that setting him down right now.
Ferguson, little floater, can't fall. Hignight pulls down, rebound number 5. They look to go inside. Krichbaum imposing down there, but the 3 from outside is a little too strong. They'll try again. Other side, can't get it. Lowen pulls down the board. He's looking to push the pace. Falcons with numbers, and they turn it over again. They just can't seem to get out of their own way. And on the other end, Dalton gives it right back.
Yeah, a little bit of a slot fest right here. I love Brady Hignight in getting back into the play, creating that steal and that transition break. both teams, I think the extra pass did not benefit them, of course, there in their transition.
Sometimes they're almost too unselfish. And actually, Brady talked about that after the game Friday when we interviewed him, as Krichbaum here. Off the glass, spins around. He's got 6 points now.
That's where he's really special, down on the block. If he can get on that left side, go over his right shoulder, I mean, you saw it right there. He's got some nice soft touch high off the square, and the Falcons getting the basketball right back.
That pass a little too hot there and goes out of bounds, and it will go over to Hillsdale. So just when it looks like the Bulldogs are kind of maybe ready to go on a run of theirs and establish control of this game, the Falcons have answered every single time.
And it's been a little bit of hurting themselves, too, for Dalton, just not being able to play consistent basketball for too long of a stretch.
Boy, great hands there by Brady Hignight, and then to find his man running in transition, but again, missing at the rim. But we're going to get a foul underneath. But Coy Wenger, I mean, he's right there. They just can't buy one inside the paint.
That's as point-blank range as you can get, and you saw he had nice balance, too, clean up at the rim. You just got to wonder how you miss some of these. And ultimately, every now and again, it's just not your night. You can't seem to dial it in. And no friendly roll there.
Another one just rolls around but doesn't fall. I mean, that first quarter they had just 5 points, and it was similar to how this quarter is shaping out right now, where like they just cannot get one to fall inside the paint. And some miscommunication there. Boy, that's 5 turnovers now in this third quarter for Hillsdale. Still 4 minutes to go. Seems like whichever one of these two teams can play like the cleanest stretch of basketball for 3 to 4 minutes is going to come away with the win.
Yeah, basketball's a game of runs. It always is. Can you make yours better and longer than the opposing team? A turnover here for the Bulldogs. So each squad, they're kind of gift-wrapping opportunities to, hey, you go ahead and go on your run. And they're like, no, not yet. You take control.
That's 9 combined turnovers here in the third quarter. 5 from Hillsdale, 4 from Dalton. It's a 3-point game. Lowen on the nice give and go. He's now up in double figures.
And I like Krichbaum, too. His decision-making up there from the elbow, he's just such a valuable player all over the place as we get a block shot on the perimeter. Kale Lewis up to the third story to catch a little piece.
There's just no breathing room. I mean, it looked like that was going to be a wide open shot, but the effort from Kale Lewis, flying in there, rejecting it. And now a nice feed inside, and we'll see who the foul gets called on here, but this might be number 3 on Krichbaum, but I think they're going to give it to Holland Young, and they do.
Yeah, it's a break here for the Falcons, and it's on that swipe from the backside. It looked like Brady straight up did a nice job of defending without fouling.
So Matthew Heatwole at the line to shoot 2. He makes the first. Just a 52% free throw shooter on the season. Interestingly enough, Hillsdale has yet to go to the free throw line tonight. Heatwole makes them both. Back to a one-possession game, and they apply a little bit of full court press here. And they almost get a turnover out of it. Lowe and Ferguson will direct traffic. 3:08 to go here in this third quarter. Driving in, off the glass, Holland Young has his first points of the night.
Nifty stuff right there, able to switch left hand up in the air and get the nice smooth roll.
Heatwole looks for help. Brady Hignight finds Carter Hignight for 3. Can't get that shot to fall, but a nice rebound there. Coy Wenger, right place, right time. And he's going to get a foul called on him, or foul drawn on him as well.
Yeah, that kind of took a tough hop off the rim right there. It looked like it was going to be Holland Young's for the taking. Right place, right time, I think was the correct way to describe that. As Dalton gets an extra possession, can they get some points?
Boy, I thought Carter had a chance there. He had Krichbaum up in the air. Chance to drive in. Instead, passes it around. They go back inside. Wenger now over to Brady. Brady pulls up. He's got that mid-range ability, but that one doesn't fall. Krichbaum pulls down the board.
Strong board that time by Brady, shutting things down. Falcons, as we're approaching the 2-minute mark here of the third quarter, looking to stretch out this lead.
And once again, it's Lowen Ferguson attacking at the rim tonight, and the Falcons lead by 7. Brady, an impressive move there. Gets it back to a 5-point deficit, and a timeout taken by Coach Cody Huth. It's going to be a full timeout, and I think it's a good timeout there because it's starting to get up there a little bit. Hillsdale used a big run Saturday to put Dalton away, essentially, and it had ballooned up to a 7-point lead, down to 5 now. But how about Lowen Ferguson now? He's up to 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 points. 6 of them here in this third quarter, and you would think he's been connecting from beyond the arc. He doesn't have a 3 tonight.
Yeah, I think he's only attempted one as well. So both he and Brady carrying the offensive load right now. It's a little bit more balanced scoring for the Falcons side of things, where everybody that's on the floor right now has at least 1 field goal. Krichbaum's got 6, and then Cal Lewis 5 points. He's got the only triple make so far here tonight for the Falcons, which is kind of an interesting storyline for a team that more or less on a normal night, they like to take quite a few from long range.
Yeah, Cale Lewis not really known as the 3-point shooter for these Hillsdale Falcons. When Coach Ferguson so generously sent me stats, 3-point numbers were not even mentioned in Cale Lewis's stats for the season. But Lowen Ferguson in that win Saturday at Dalton, he had 7 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 steals, and didn't turn it over.
Wow.
But he's already up to 12 here tonight.
I mean, the poise that this kid plays with for a freshman, so super uncommon. The look away right there on the setup for Krichbaum. He'll have a couple free throws in his future, but he's really just a pleasure to watch play because of the understanding of what's needed to try to get the best shot possible. And boy, he's got a long way still to go and grow.
Yeah. Alex Hess, by the way, picks up his 3rd foul here for the Bulldogs. Krichbaum, nice feed inside, but unable to convert it. Knox Lewis, he had a good look. Couldn't get a much better one. It's kind of been the theme of the night for both teams.
That was a gorgeous setup that time, right over the top. This one, too, the skip pass, and it finds its range for Hignight.
Brady Hignight, his 2nd 3 of the night. Back to a 1-possession game.
I think this is a big defensive possession right now for Dalton. Can you get a score, stop, score?
Boy, it looked like Cale shuffled his shoes there, but unable to convert. Lowen just hasn't been able to find his shot from outside tonight.
And let's flip it back to the other side where they just did. The closeout, the hand is right in the face. We just saw Cale get a block shot on the perimeter. No hesitation, and Brady able to put it right where it needed to be.
Under a minute to go here in the third quarter, 33-31. We've had a couple ties, a couple lead changes. Hillsdale has led by as many as 8. Hess thought about it, gets it over to Brady. Wenger for 3, doesn't fall, and a tie-up is going to give the possession arrow. It'll stay with Dalton.
Feels like they got a little bit of momentum going right now, too. A basket here makes you feel real good about yourself going into that fourth quarter if you're a Bulldog fan.
Yeah, it does feel like that. And Brady's shot is a little short. It's knocked away and able to save it. Crowd wanted over and back. I think Wenger did a nice job to save it, though.
He did.
And he pump fakes, drives in, sees Krichbaum there and throws it away. And a costly turnover there from Dalton.
Yeah, excellent read by Troy Bennett. And now it's the Falcons' opportunity to try to regain that momentum, still it back here in the closing seconds.
7 seconds to go. Ball knocked loose. It will stay here with the Falcons. 5.4 to go. 33-31. Cale will inbound. It's Bennett. 5 to shoot. Bennett drives. Throws it up off the glass. It rolls around, but he will go to the line to shoot 2. And these will be the first free throws of the night for Hillsdale.
Pretty crazy to really fathom that your 3/4 of the way through a game, and this is your first opportunity to try to cash in here from the charity stripe.
And he makes the first. Back up to a 3-point lead, chance to make it a 2-possession lead. Bennett, second one, nothing but net. Brady, half-court heave is no good, and after 3, Hillsdale, 35-31. Call up your friends. This is shaping up to be a photo finish here.
Home and kitchen supply. We're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Well, Brian, I know this is your favorite quarter of them all. What do we like to call this time?
Well, this is it's a major bag alert, Andy, because there is some big chips on the table, better known as money time.
Money time indeed here live and free on the OH Report. And a good one here in the Wayne County Athletic League. Hillsdale leading 35-31. Fourth quarter just now getting started. Andy Jardy alongside Brian Skowronski. Jeremy Peoples on camera providing you all the great footage here tonight of this very entertaining and at times very confusing game as Dalton trying to avenge the loss from Saturday. Hess for 3. Boy, it just doesn't fall. Krichbaum there for the rebound and a foul going the other way on Brady Hignight.
Confusing to say the least, just because it feels like momentum is normally such a tangible thing that you can feel, you can sense. In this, it's been very fragile, and one team that they'll take it, but then it kind of crumbles in the palm of their hands instantly. So neither team has been able to really build any huge momentum, but this is going to go a long way. Nice find, and to get an easy one for Brady Krichbaum, huge for the Falcons here to establish something in the fourth.
Yeah, he's got just 8 points on the night. He's scored 1 bucket in each quarter. And a turnover here. Boy, Dalton cannot afford to do that at this stretch in the game.
And Hayden McFadden checking back in, getting the fourth quarter start, comes up with that theft after only a couple minutes in the third, got pulled for the few turnovers. So it's a good sign for him to come in and make a positive contribution immediately. As we get another jump ball. There's been a lot of jump balls tonight.
There have, and Cale just didn't do a good enough job there holding onto that ball. He kept it up above his head. He allowed that jump ball to happen. Just got to be stronger with the ball. So can Dalton do anything now here on the offensive side of things? Neither team has been able to separate from the other. Hillsdale's led by as many as 9. There's a nice pass inside, but again, the story of the night, another missed shot right at the rim.
And it feels like Coy Wenger, unfortunately, he's been the recipient of a lot of just the bad breaks at the rim. He's had, by my count, probably about 4 that just he normally makes, not able to. Long rebound, here comes Brady with a head of steam.
That was a big shot there that did not fall, and Hignight is going to go to the line to shoot 2. But Bennett had a good look from the outside and a chance to really put the pressure on Dalton, but the door's still slightly open here if the Bulldogs can figure anything out on the offensive side of things. Not even so much figured out, if they can just put the ball in the hoop. I mean, bunny after bunny just not falling. Big free throws here as Brady gets the first to go.
Yeah, if he can bury the next one, he'll have 20 of the 33 for the Bulldogs.
And doesn't make that one. McFadden, the high-flying Hayden McFadden, pulls down the board. So it's a 5-point lead for Hillsdale. 5:50 to go. Falcons looking for the season sweep. They go inside to Krichbaum. Krichbaum muscling his way and gets that friendly roll at home. Krichbaum up to 12.
He's got all the points for the Falcons here in the fourth quarter, and they're going to need to continue to rely on him. Blocking foul for McFadden. And I think that's just the second team foul, though, on the Falcons.
Yeah, neither team into any foul trouble. Hess has 3 fouls for Dalton, Krichbaum with 2, Cale Lewis with 2, and Holland Young with 2 for Hillsdale. Just been a frustrating night for Dalton offensively. All sorts of shots that have been good that just have not been able to fall, and I believe that's block number 5 there for Mr. Krichbaum.
He's had a party for one going on at the block party all night, and a lot of them have been super ferocious too. He hasn't had any kind of like candid, just half little swats.
He has definitely earned each of those blocks tonight. They have been impressive. What a pump fake from Lewis, and he's going to go to the line to shoot 2.
Another look on the Raiders' dairy bar, able to take the defense off guard with that pump fake out to Bennett. Now can you cash in, stretch out this lead, and create some space? It can be as big as 9, but the first one rattles out.
Yeah, just under 5 minutes to go here, and Dalton's gotta start scoring. Cale misses them both. Boy, almost a nice save there by McFadden. So 2 big missed free throws. Keeps it at a 7-point game as the Bulldogs try to scrap and claw their way back into this one. Wenger outside for a 3, but it's blocked by McFadden.
That has been the Falcons' corner defensively tonight. A couple of blocks over there. Lewis had one. Now McFadden rises to the occasion. But the Bulldogs with the strip here on Ferguson left his feet, nowhere to go with the basketball. And again, just the momentum. It feels like it's about to swing, but the pendulum never stays on one side for too long.
They'll try to hit a 3, and this one doesn't go, but Brady, right place, right time.
Where would they be without him tonight? Hignight has thrown the entire city on his back here offensively. He's got 21 points. Bulldogs, who average 56 per contest, well below that here tonight.
Hayden McFadden, his 3, a much-needed 3 for the Falcons.
Just the second made trifecta here for Hillsdale in this game, but it comes at a big opportune time midway through the fourth quarter to stretch things right back out to an 8-point deficit.
Krichbaum altering the shot there. McFadden pulling down the board. 3:30 to go. Dalton running out of time. And Hillsdale in no sense of urgency here. Up 8. Krichbaum swings it around to Cale, and it's off of Dalton, so Hillsdale will keep possession. 3:16 to go. Don't forget, on our post-game show, we will have our Village Point Market MVP interview for you. Not quite sure if we are sure who it is yet tonight, Brian. This has kind of been an interesting game. Krichbaum, though, I feel like we're going to become friends before the season's over. He keeps being the MVP interview.
Yeah, he's starting to state his case here in the fourth quarter as well. Really been strong. Dalton with the travel here, and they give it back over to the Falcons, and they'll take a timeout. Coach Ferguson, now he feels a little bit of momentum drifting in his direction. 9-3 in favor of Hillsdale this quarter. The lead as large as it's been at any time tonight, Andy. Double figures for the first time.
Yeah, they've pushed this thing up to a 10-point lead. And again, I mean, Dalton's going to go back and look at this one. The amount of shots missed at the rim tonight have just been – it's been excruciating if you're a Bulldog fan. I mean, they've been right there. If just half of those misses would have gone down, we'd be looking at a much different ball game.
It's the simple things, it's the little things in basketball that add up to the final result at the end. And for Dalton, when they go back and they watch the film, maybe it's one of those practices where it's like, all right, we're going to make a bunch of catches with 3 feet and in, and we're just going to bound, and we're going to make sure that we're putting it in and that we understand the touch that's necessary. And a bit of bad fortune as well here for Dalton, where they've had a couple of really nice looks, a couple of hops around the rim, and it just hasn't gone down. However, if you're converting those, it's a much different looking game right now with 3 minutes to go.
Dalton will go with the full court press here. They got to force some turnovers, and they got to get some buckets quickly here in the next 3 minutes, trailing by 10. And close to a 10-second call. They just do get across half court. And Coach Ben Ferguson, easy. He's basically out on the court there as a 6-man pleading, just slow it down. There's no need.
Not basically.
Those
gold shoes were fully out on the hardwood, and some coaches get a little leeway as this is a nice dump off. Krichbaum taking over offensively in the fourth.
It's amazing how he can have such a quiet night and then when it matters most, rise to the occasion. He's got 8 points here in the fourth quarter as it's now a 12-point lead.
This is a nice find, too, by McFadden. Get into that short quarter, draw over the defense, and just lay it off for Krichbaum. And he is about as sure-handed as you get down there in the painted area.
Bulldogs need baskets, and they need them quick. 2:15 to go, trailing by 12. And it's another turnover. And the Falcon faithful can just about taste a season sweep over these Dalton Bulldogs, who have dominated this matchup in recent history, winning 11 of the last 13. But the Falcons seem to be establishing themselves in this rivalry now.
Yeah, and especially to beat them 2 games in a row, that's a piece of headspace that you'll own for a little while over in Bulldog country. And for the Falcons, too, what a nice lift for the program. This will be their 10th victory of the season. They had a long stretch where they never got into double figures, Andy. So it's been really cool to see the life that Coach Ferguson's kind of bred here into the program.
Yeah, 18 wins last year. Obviously the late start to the season this year with the run to the state championship in football.
And a lot of football players out here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 7 of the 10 on the roster were on the football team. So they're starting to get their feet under him. And, you know, Coach Ferguson said after a couple of those losses they had a few weeks ago that, you know, this is where not having those scrimmages, he felt like really came into play in terms of them not being able to close out some of those games. But now you just keep playing, you keep grinding away. There's a foul here.
And that's the last to give. So free throws coming up here for Lowen. His offense has been huge for them, and not just the scoring. I already talked about just the way that he's able to dictate tempo and just understand how to get the team into a good look offensively. Number 20 has really done a remarkable job all season long, but you got to applaud him tonight.
And still just a freshman. That's like the thing I just keep coming back to, because like I was here for their opener against Loudonville, and him hitting 6 threes, which, by the way, the school record in a game is 9. Thankfully, they've got all the numbers up in the hallway here at Hillsdale, and made sure to take a photo of that for any future reference. But, I mean, 6 is impressive. I would love to know what a freshman's record is. I'm sure that stat probably hasn't been tracked. But, I mean, 6 for your debut is pretty darn impressive. Speaking of darn impressive, Brady Krichbaum just continues to pad the numbers now. He's up to 16 points, 10 of them here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the best part about those 10, he's only really had to work for 2 of them. The other 8 have come. Beautiful execution, nice passing, him fading himself close to the basket, and when it's on the money right there, as I mentioned, great hands and the finishing ability, and he's earned a trip over to the sideline along with the rest of the starters. Impressive performance in this fourth quarter for the Falcons to get a second win in a row over the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the hockey line change there, and a nice ovation for all of the Hillsdale players. And does that not just sum it up right there? Another
really does.
Layup missed by Dalton. The amount of misses at the rim tonight has been unbelievable. I don't know if I've ever seen this many.
Yeah, this will be a game that they'll be thinking about, I think, for a while.
Brady on the other end gets the and one opportunity to go. But it's going to be too little too late here for Dalton.
You know, it's still a pretty special night. Kid averages 17 per game. He's going to be well over that when it's all said and done. 23 for him now, a chance to throw one on top. And look at this, the heads-up play, craftiness, and now he'll get 2 free throws, Andy, instead of 1.
Boy, rarely do you see that work. And you don't see it too often at the high school level. That's just a heads-up play by Brady there.
This kid's played a lot of basketball, a lot of meaningful basketball, as mentioned, back-to-back district champions, and I think won the league a couple of years ago.
He's doing it again, and they get it again. And Brady for 3 can't get that shot to fall, but 2 for 2 on the deliberate miss and keeping the possession.
But now the student section, I think they kind of believe that they have won at this point, Andy.
I feel like they are sharing that thought, yes, and they are vocalizing it as well. Good turnout from the students today. Be a late night where they can they have school off tomorrow.
They did. I think the entire county of Ashland and Richland, the neighboring counties, with it being, I think it's scheduled for 0 degrees-ish tomorrow, so
it's not great.
Everything's shut down except for the sports, so pretty cool that we're still able to get out here and enjoy this and bring it to you live and free so that you can stay warm with your hot cocoa and hopefully your wool socks.
Brady will try to make a 3 here from the outside, and it doesn't fall, and that is going to do it here tonight as Hillsdale prevails. They get the season sweep over Dalton. They win Saturday, they win again here today, 51-37. Stick around, Brian and I will have our Bendon postgame show for you, as well as our Village Point Market MVP interview. You won't want to miss it. We'll have it for you on the other side.
Coach B.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Oh, not much. What's that sound?
Just working on some long overdue improvements here.
Whoa.
Fit for a Hall of Famer.
Home and kitchen supply. We're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
You just watched live and free boys high school basketball to bring in your Tuesday night. Thanks to all of our amazing sponsors, including Simonson Construction Services, Inc., Bendon Publishing, Village Point Market, Raiders Dairy Bar, Home and Kitchen Supply, and Fickes Furniture. After a quick commercial timeout, we'll be back. We will hear from your most valuable player of the evening, presented by Village Point Market, who is currently celebrating a whole bunch of deals. Check out their Facebook page and see what they've got going on right now. Brady Krichbaum, the senior center, will join me and Andy. We'll break things down, get his ideas on what it means to sweep Dalton, get 10 wins here at the midway point of the season, and a whole bunch more moving forward. So stay with us. We'll be back here in just a couple of minutes, live and free.
Coach B.
Hey, Travis, what's up?
Oh, not much. What's that sound?
Just working on some long overdue improvements here.
Whoa.
Fit for a Hall of Famer. Hi, I'm Joe Baylog. Tune into the Joe Show every Wednesday night here on the OH Report.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at fickesfurniture.com.
Home and kitchen supply, we're building our future with you.
Contractors and do-it-yourselfers, this is Jeff Flowers from Home and Kitchen Supply, here to remind you that we are your best source for kitchens, baths, windows, doors, floors, and more. Quality products, friendly service, great prices. You owe it to yourself to give us a try. You will be glad you did. That's Home and Kitchen Supply, 163 North Diamond Street, downtown Mansfield. We're building our future with you.
Time now for our Village Point Market MVP interview, and once again we are talking to Mr. Brady Krichbaum. 16 points, 8 rebounds. You had 5 blocks tonight as well, Brady. What was working so well for you against this Dalton team that you guys just saw on Saturday?
So Saturday they actually out-rebounded us.
Okay.
By 2 or so, I think, and then today we out-rebounded them by about 8.
Yeah,
I think it was or something like that. But rebounding was a big focus going in, and we cleaned that up in it.
Yeah,
blew up in the
so
lead.
I was wondering about the official numbers from the Dalton game because you had out-rebounded everybody up until that game then on Saturday. So was that clearly a point of emphasis for you guys here tonight?
Yeah, that was a big one.
Yeah, so this was kind of a weird game where neither team could seem to separate from one another, but then you guys were able to do it in the fourth quarter, and you had 10 of your 16 points in the fourth quarter. What do you think was like the biggest factor for you guys to finally pull away in this one?
Other people were getting open. We had that Hayden McFadden had the big three that got us in the lead, and then after that they kind of started playing off of me a little bit, gave me openings, and then I just took advantage of those and scored.
What was it like playing them again so quickly? You don't see this ever really happen, but you guys get the season sweep, and what was it like just playing a team so quick on that turnaround?
We knew how we would have to switch up our defense because they were gonna study that a lot in the off time because we ran a 2-1-2 at Dalton, and that kind of stepped them up a little bit, and then we changed it to 1-3-1 today, and it worked pretty well.
Was it at all difficult, with school not happening today, just kind of like waiting for this game to happen? Do you think that kind of played into maybe a little bit of the sluggish start?
I know for some guys it is, but I don't have class Tuesday or Thursday, so I'm kind of into that at this point. But yeah.
Gotcha.
I know for some guys that it is a little difficult.
Well, you guys are starting to get back on a winning roll here. Now you go to Norway next. What's going to be the biggest thing for you guys to keep this winning streak going?
We got to keep up the intensity. We're hot right now. Keep up the rebounding. Keep up the pretty good defense we've been playing, and the shots will come. So.
And last thing, if you want to look into that camera, give a shout out to anybody.
Shout out my dad. He got the student section riled up there in the fourth quarter.
Well done there, Mr. Krichbaum.
Thank you.
Best of luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Fickes Furniture, celebrating 100 years in the furniture business, displaying all the latest styles by manufacturers such as Bassett, Flex Steel, Mohawk Flooring, Dutch Craft Bedding, and more. With free delivery setup and removal, make your next movie night comfortable with Fickes Furniture. Quality furniture at an affordable price. Visit our Jeromesville location or visit us online at Fickes Furniture.
Rolling along in our Bendon Publishing post-game show here from Hillsdale, where the Falcons have achieved the season sweep over Dalton. They win tonight 51-37. Brady Krichbaum leading the way for the Falcons with 16 points. Andy Jardy alongside Brian Skowronski, and this was a very frustrating game if you're Dalton. I mean, the amount of misses right at the rim tonight, the biggest factor I think tonight, and why they couldn't get the dub.
Yeah, an interesting game all the way across the board, but the Falcons finally were able to capture the momentum. They hung on to it in the fourth quarter, and it was the defense, to me, that really led the day for them, and they bookended things. Fantastic in the first quarter. They were able to stretch things out by at least 8 or 9 points, and then in that fourth, they really clamped down on Dalton, who, to your point as well, can't be happy with how they shot the basketball, particularly in the lane tonight. A lot of clean looks, weren't able to put away plenty of shots that they usually are putting in the basket. So kudos to the Falcons for getting it done and for finding a spark there in the first quarter and then the fourth quarter to close it out. Back-to-back wins over Dalton, I'm guessing for the first time ever.
It's been a minute if it has happened. It certainly hasn't happened in the last couple of years. But this was a game 13-5 Hillsdale after one, and then Dalton won the second quarter. They were close in the third quarter, and then that fourth quarter, 16-6, Hillsdale was victorious, and Dalton got 3 of those points kind of in garbage time with deliberate missed free throws and the guys that came in, the subs, just not really being prepared for that sort of play.
And for Hillsdale, too, I just think that this style of play, this is how they want to play. I think they like dirtying it up a little bit. They like getting after you on the defensive side of things. They can get up and down the floor and run, but at the same time, they just much rather get into their half-court sets. They've got a lot of kids that can secure some offensive rebounds. And then over on the opposite side, when you've got a dude in the middle that's playing as confident as Brady Krichbaum is, and coach trusting him with the 2 fouls, putting him in at the end of the second quarter, 5 block shots. He's like the Terminator in there. You just can't ever seem to get rid of him. He's always around the basketball. This was a Hillsdale style of victory tonight, and against a tough team in Dalton. So the scoring, not quite what the Falcons are accustomed to getting to on the season, but they certainly held the Bulldogs in check, 20 points under their season average.
Yeah, Dalton comes in averaging about 50 points a game. They only scored 37, and Hillsdale scores around 61 a game. They scored 10 below their average, but yeah, they were able to do enough defensively and just alter enough shots, and Dalton just could not make any close buckets tonight, and that is going to be the biggest difference for me in this one as we look at the final numbers here. The free throws, they missed 7 free throws. Hillsdale didn't really get to the line too much tonight. They didn't attempt a free throw until there was 1.5 seconds left in the third quarter. So they just were able to get in and score at the rim, especially Lowe and Ferguson, who had 13 points tonight as well. Hillsdale they did enough of the little things right to win.
Out rebounding them, they give away fewer turnovers, made a higher percentage of free throws, and then the 2-point buckets, they didn't even attempt a lot of threes today too, so that's what I liked the most about Hillsdale's style of game. Last time I was over here against Chippewa, who shot the ball unbelievably, their best shooting performance, and an upset win when the Falcons were 5-0. They were launching from long range left and right and just hoping their athletes could go in there and secure some offensive rebounds, and that might have been how they were winning games early. They didn't have to do that style here tonight. Crisp movement with the basketball, get it down low, the extra pass, and it works out more often than not. I thought that despite the offensive numbers not being where they normally are for the Falcons, the 22-pointers are always feel like that's a good sign that you played a really quality, caring sense of giving basketball and everybody kind of touching it.
I just think it goes to show too that so a couple times that I've seen Hillsdale now, they've been able to hit shots from the outside, and that's really kind of been what's got them to pull away from teams. They didn't have that ability tonight, but they were able to find other ways to do it, and they scored so many points inside the three-point line tonight, which was really impressive to see them do. Almost as impressive as that Ohio State performance we saw last night too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Wasn't that great? There really was no sweat, honestly. It got a little dicey maybe there at the end, but it was still just okay. It was weird us being Ohio and Cleveland fans to not be sweating up. I think about myself how I was during the Guardians-Yankees series or the Guardians-Tigers series where I was ready to throw up. And I never had that feeling watching Ohio State in the playoff. It was just very nice to kind of be stress-free.
I would say that this entire season was that, with the exception of the Nebraska game, because I feel like there's a lot of folks that are in your camp too that are just maybe surprised is the word that I would throw around out there. It's been a stress-free Saturday of football enjoyment for me all season long. It's the best Ohio State team that I've ever seen in my entire life in terms of talent. And then I just love how everybody, it's a family, and they built it on the foundation of faith. Mm-hmm. Everybody has shared that. And I heard a lot of people in the media talk about that, how far they feel like that brought them from the beginning of the season to now, where that's kind of brought everybody together. They've baptized people on campus that are not a part of any sports. And just, I think ultimately that was the foundation to go along with the great skill set, of course, bringing in a couple of players in the NIL pool out of the portal. So a special season, and I think that everybody can be really proud of what we just saw. Even if you're not a Buckeye fan, I don't know how you don't enjoy this team.
Yeah, and honestly, it's the same with I don't know how you don't enjoy that Notre Dame team too. It just so happened that they were running up against the team that we root for. In any other situation, I would have probably been pulling for that Notre Dame team because Marcus Freeman's just a really likable guy.
Buckeye, of course,
too.
So that helps the foundation of what he's built over there. So just a really quality game that we saw last night. So congratulations to Coach Ryan Day, who should have never even been considered to be on the hot seat. And a lot of folks are talking about, and you and I before the game, not that you don't want to win it because it's the most important game on the calendar, that team up north, but at the same time, it's not quite as valuable as it used to be. You can still drop that one, not play in the Big Ten championship, and go get it done.
It stings. There's no getting around it, but that is a cultural shift that we now have to adjust to with the expanded playoff. It's that game, it matters, obviously.
Yeah.
We saw what happened with everything, but it almost doesn't matter. It definitely doesn't matter as much anymore because you can lose it and then go on and beat 3 AP top 5 teams and find yourself in a national champion.
All rivalry games matter, and I think for Hillsdale in this game tonight, getting 2 over Dalton, this is a big accomplishment.
Sure is.
And they're not quite on the level yet with teams like Smithville and Norwayne, who are 12-2 right now on the year and are a couple of losses that they've had so far in the season, along with a bit of an anomaly with Chippewa. But I think Hillsdale proved tonight that they are clearly the third best team in the WCAL. Can they make some noise down the stretch with an upset of one of those two top contenders? It's going to take their best game and maybe an off night like we saw from the Bulldogs here in order to catapult them. But certainly I think their confidence right now, they look like a much different team than when I saw them about a month ago.
Yep. Dalton will look to regroup. They will travel to Chippewa next. Hillsdale is on the road for the next two. They will be at Norwayne and then at Mapleton. You can catch the Falcons back home here January 31st against Waynedale. That is going to do it for us here on the OH Report. Thank you so much for our sponsors, allowing us to bring you this coverage live and free. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. For Jeremy Good Peoples, as I like to call him on camera, Brian Skowronski, I'm Andy Jardy. Stay safe, everybody. Stay warm. Enjoy your off day from school if you've got one tomorrow. I think everybody does, so enjoy it. We always used to go to the Pizza Hut buffet when we had the day off. I don't know what the kids do nowadays, but get together with your friends. And,
That's a solid option.
And enjoy the day. We'll catch you next time, everyone. Have a good one.